Hi everyone, my name is Aemal Sayer. I'm an AI engineer specializing in building AI agents for SMEs. This is the first video as a part of many videos to come. Every Sunday I'll work on this project, an AI agent that would take care of bookkeeping and invoice management. It has a personal story to it. I will be building this for my wife. She is taking care of bookkeeping and invoice uploading in a software called DATEV. It's a German software. It's complex and it has a lot of features. The screen is super complicated and they don't have any APIs. So a perfect, complex enough workflow for me to build it and showcase my skills. And also at the same time, I'm anticipating that my wife will spend less hours after this. My target is something that is like at least 9x speed. Right now she spends around 10 hours for uploading the invoices of 1 month. And once this AI agent is completed, then I anticipate that she will spend something around 1 hour. The expected outcome is that she will put the AI agent into work. The workflow will happen by the AI agent. The workflow involves the following things. She usually goes to our bank account, downloads the entire transactions of 1 month. So that is basically the source of all the transactions that has happened. And then she finds the invoices for every single transaction that happened in the bank and then goes in the respective platforms and then downloads all those individual invoices. For example, she goes to DigitalOcean, goes to billing, downloads an invoice for the month of December 2024. And then she goes to GCP console, goes to billing, or we have multiple GCP consoles or multiple Google Cloud Platform accounts. And then she finds exactly which one is it and then goes there and then downloads that corresponding invoice. Once she has all these invoices as PDF files on her computer, then she opens this software called DATEV, Unternehmen Online. That's the German word for that particular feature of DATEV. And then she puts it, like she goes in there and then uploads one PDF at a time. And I would like to automate this entire workflow in a way that I will create an N8N workflow that automatically grasps this data from wherever that we can automate with APIs. And wherever we don't have an API, I will do the workflow in a way that it will give it to computer use by Anthropic. And computer use will do all the login and processes, like literally simulating the clicks and so on. I have started doing some stuff, but there are certain blockers, and I would like to record this series in a way that is super raw. I wouldn't edit these videos except if I shared anything personal or private that I will obfuscate and then share it further. But I'd like to keep these videos extremely long, detailed, so that whoever watches it can benefit from all the tiny details. Like if I get stuck in something, I wouldn't stop the recording. I will research the recording. Like I will try to solve the problem by researching under the screen recording so that you guys can also follow step by step. So imagine that the scenario would go like this, that we have like, I don't know, 100 invoices, and then she puts the agent into work. The agent takes over the computer control. It will initiate first a workflow on N8N that collects all the invoices from, let's say, Google Drive, from platforms that provide an endpoint, an API, a way that we can integrate, regardless of the fact whether or not these APIs are available in one of the 400 integrations of N8N or not. I could, for example, if there is an endpoint in GCP Cloud or console that has like a bare bone REST API that you can authenticate and then download the invoice, but this integration does not exist in N8N, I will also cover that. So I will write a small Node.js program that will do that, and then I will call from the N8N workflow that, and then upload the PDF back to N8N, and then N8N will combine them all in one Google Drive for further use in the next steps. And then one part of the workflow automation would be that there is no API, and I have to actually click things around, and that would be the time when I will trigger another Node.js that's running locally in that computer, exposed through a reverse proxy, say ngrok. I'll be using ngrok or ngrok, some people pronounce it like that. And then we take that, the control of the computer, and then click things around. And at certain point in time, we'll also, or maybe most of the times, we'll use computer use. The Robot.js is the NPM package that I'll use for blind clicks, basically spinning off a browser, opening computer use, and then putting the prompt inside the chat of computer use. And then once computer use finishes, the Anthropic computer use finishes all the steps that's given to it. For example, this could be navigate to this page and click this place, and then download this PDF file, and then save it in folder called downloads and give the name this, and then visit this endpoint, which is a reverse proxy endpoint that will eventually trigger the next step of Robot.js that will basically take that PDF file from inside a Docker container that was running computer use, and then it will download it on the computer, like the actual physical computer, not the virtual machine where the Docker container is running, but the physical computer, the MacBook that my wife will be using. And then it takes that PDF file and then uploads it on N8N, so that the N8N workflow can take it to the next level, which would be combining all the PDF files somewhere. And then the last step would be that once all the invoices, let's say that 100 invoices, are collected in the Google Drive, then indeed, one more thing that would definitely happen, we cannot 100% automate it. If anything in between these 100 invoices fails, it will put it on a side. It will give a push notification on Slack to my wife, so that she can, when she has time, that go there and then find the invoice number 47 was not able to be downloaded, for invoice number 57 and 62 and so on. And then she takes those ones individually, and then maybe she will download it individually. And then meanwhile, I'll use that log in order to optimize the workflow, and perhaps over time the AI agent will be able to jump over those hurdles that happen while downloading and uploading those invoices. Eventually the last step would be that I think can be done with blind clicks. We won't need computer use, is to upload all those invoices, all those 100 invoices on DATEV, this German software. That would be like literally downloading all the deterministic file names that is already in a metadata in a JSON, and then we take that and then loop through it, and then one by one upload it on DATEV, and then using a long polling method to make sure that the upload is completed based on a certain string that comes on the page. This could be like uploaded successfully or something like that. And then once everything is done, and then send a Slack message to my wife that, hey, everything is done, you can check it now. So that's the whole idea of this project. I hope you'll like it. Let me quickly show you what I have done today in a couple of, maybe less than an hour. I'll give you today I didn't do the live streaming, but from next Sunday I will do the live streaming. Every Sunday I will be working on this for at least a couple of hours. So let's go and see how this current situation is. Alrighty, so let's start from a quick introduction of what is computer use. Basically, Anthropic released something called computer use just a couple of months ago. You can find a lot of YouTube content on how to set it up, but I will quickly go through it on showing out how you can do it. Come to this address where you can see on the screen, and you can basically create a simple Anthropic instance, you need to have Docker container installed for this to work. I already have Docker container installed, and you need to get an API key from Anthropic. And then once you have the API key, just replace it there, copy this entire thing, paste it. It's extremely simple, like just a few steps to spin off your container. I'm gonna quickly show you how it's gonna look like once you have it running. So you should have an instance, something like that, says running, and literally you can go to the once you start running it, it will tell you something like this, that it is available on the port 8080, this link. And then once you start running that in your browser, it will take some time. The first version will take some time. Meanwhile, this, like, probably it's the reason because it initiates a virtual environment, a virtual machine for running this browser, so it takes time. Just give it the extra time that it needs. Meanwhile, I'll show you a quick walkthrough of what I want to do, or the architecture that I want to take for this. So the architecture would go something like this, that I have N8N somewhere setting, and I will have like a MacBook somewhere, and then I will have a VM running, a virtual machine running computer used by Anthropic. So let's explain how this whole thing will work. So the MacBook will be basically the initiator of everything. So it will initiate the first thing will happen is, like, maybe it's a click or it's a message, but something will trigger a workflow on N8N. And then N8N will extract data from different sources, be it Google Drive, be it an inbox, be it whatever with API. That's the idea, that whatever that we can use an API, we download that in the workflow. And then whatever that does not have an API, the N8N will trigger the MacBook that, hey, this is what you need to do. Like, this could be no API available invoices, or the invoices that do not have API. And then there could be two routes. Either we go to a computer vision, or we simulate it using Robot.js. If it's a simulation, if it's a computer use, then we need to trigger it. Again, the trigger of this has to do a little bit of Robot.js plus some throttling concepts. Not sure if throttling is correctly spelled there. Yep. So we will get to that when the time comes. And then here in this MacBook, let's say an Express.js server will be running and listening to stuff using ngrok. And in that ngrok will listen to two different sources. This source when N8N calls back this MacBook, and also when computer use is done with the work, and then it calls back this ngrok thingy, the URL of ngrok, which I'll show you in just a minute. So once the job is finished, it will say job finished. It's basically just by visiting an endpoint called visit. Certain tasks may not require an LLM or may not require a vision-based AI. That could be based on blind clicks, that I would use a specific coordinate of the screen to click. For that, I will trigger Robot.js to do the clicks. Let's call that blind clicks. And once the blind click process is over, it will give it back to the main running Express.js program, and it will say that, I'm done basically. Again, the job finished here would be another finish endpoint that we can call as it goes on. I think that would be the overall architecture of things. And this Robot.js, when it downloads files, perhaps it will keep it in the MacBook hard drive, or it will upload it on a Google Drive so that we have everything there. We'll see. We'll discover as we go on in this architecture, but that's how everything should look like. So let's see if the loading of the browser is done here. It should be this one. Yeah, it's ready. So I have done an example before I actually initiate computer use. To do that example one more time, I'd like to show you how simple it is. So the initiation, the trigger that will initiate would be just an Express.js that would say, hey, Robot.js, please go ahead and initiate. Well, this one is actually an execution, like an exec command that will run browser and then open this particular endpoint that will run the Docker container that's right now spinning and running Anthropic, and it will just initiate that thing. The part that it's just a scaffolding that will console log done. So I will just keep this thing clear here. We should see a done once the Anthropic computer vision based computer usage will finish from inside this this container. So the idea is that I will use ngrok. So I'm already doing a reverse proxy on this URL for this localhost 3030, which is basically this simple Node.js process that's running. So let's go on and see that in action. Maybe I can put this, we can put these two next to each other so that we can observe it and I don't touch the mouse so much. Alrighty, so let's go here next to it. Please keep it as small as possible. We should see it done once Anthropic is done with the work. So I need the URL. I think I already have the URL. Let's just paste it there. Oh no, then let's get it from here. Okay, I need this entire URL. Alrighty, so we'll keep an eye in here just to give it a quick try. Oops, this didn't work again. Let's just keep it on the other page, it's okay. Copy, paste. This would be the URL that we'll give it. When it runs, it will spin off the Anthropic workflow. When it finishes, it will basically show us something on the, it's just a console log like this. So that will basically wire the spinning off of computer use, and once computer use is done with the workflow, and then it will basically come back and tell this Node.js server that, hey, I'm done. And then this Node.js service, basically here, the rest of the code will go that will resume or trigger another N8N workflow. Alrighty, let's give it a try. So this is the URL that we need to do. And this part, which I'm right now doing, will happen with Robot.js. So the prompt could be something like, go to google.com, open images, and then visit, search for TV tower, Berlin TV tower, then visit this URL. All I'm trying to do is like, this much is pretty much done. Like I have it in another POC, proof of concept, that you could spin off this, wait for it to complete, then come here, paste this here, and then hit enter. The reason I will do this with Robot.js is because I couldn't find an endpoint, an API that I could ask Anthropic to do it programmatically. Once that's done, then we don't need to use Robot.js for this as well. Anyways, let's kick start it and then see if it works. So now it's taking screenshots. It's context aware of what is on the screen right now, and it will take another action. It went to the address bar, so it could easily find address bar. It went to Google. It should switch it to Google Images, or at least search for Berlin TV Tower. These are just some example workflows that I'm doing, but the actual workflows that I will be coding next week would be definitely not searching for an image of Berlin TV Tower, but it would be relevant to the invoice processing that my wife is doing on a monthly basis. So now it is visiting that URL that I provided. Perfect. You see that it visited, it basically triggered. We don't know exactly how much time this computer use process will take. Therefore, we needed to find a way that we trigger or resume the next step. So therefore, now where's my terminal? Here's my terminal. Here we just saw that the process was done by Anthropic computer use. So that's how we could wire these different things with each other. So just to give you a little bit of thing. So basically, this is the route that I want to do. And this is done. The triggering part is easy. That is already done as well. So next week on Sunday, I will try to take one example that could be like triggering N8N workflow to MacBook, to computer, probably to Robot.js, because here we have some Robot.js and also taking care of the throttling. I'll speak about the throttling in just a minute. And then trigger it to computer use once computer use is done, and then triggering back to MacBook, and then the MacBook resumes something on N8N. I'll again keep it simple with we'll do one proof of concept first, and then we'll put the actual use case in place. Speaking about throttling, I would like to very quickly share something about a blocker that I just recently faced that is like this. So there is a so-called rate limit on Anthropic. In order to not abuse the API, they put some rate limits. This is like 40,000 tokens for, there's like a breakdown of different tiers. So the first days that you sign up, you could invest maximum $100, and the number of tokens could be something for 40,000 or something like this, and then it just keeps going on and on. But it is per minute. So the limit is a limit of 40,000 tokens per minute, and if we throttle it, then it should be okay. It's okay to wait for a minute when it reaches to certain tokens. So the workflow that we will need to take care of is like this throttling workflow would be somehow inside this VM. We may end up, we may need to run certain inside this VM. We'll need to find a way to run certain commands to throttle it, to stop the process. This chat process that an Anthropic computer uses being run here, this needs to be stopped because we have a terminal access, and I believe that we could basically install Node here and run on another script here that will take care of throttling, or maybe we prompt it with extremely small steps here. We don't prompt it with multiple steps. Those are all the ideas I have. It's literally the first few hours. I'll keep posting these videos on my YouTube channel and also circulate on my LinkedIn, and let's see how it goes. Please already engage with me with comments and with ideas how we can take this forward. And if you have any ideas in order to build something with me, you can go to aemalsayer.com, find some more information about me. I'm right now offering a free AI agent development in exchange for a 2-minute video testimonial. If you have an idea that you can build an AI agent for, especially with that invoicing and bookkeeping areas, and especially for SMEs with or without API, that's the whole part about this. Whether this is an SME where you're working, it's an e-commerce or logistics or a manufacturing company, I'm open to all of them, specifically SMEs in Germany, but I'm also open for other companies. If it's an individual, a small company, since I'm in extremely early stages of gathering these testimonials, so I'm open for everything, but I prefer SMEs. Let's see if that works. I'm looking forward to the next video then. See you guys on next Sunday.